Hello, hope you are fine. In this video, I will explain about bubble sort with the help of an example. Do you know why it is called bubble sort? Or what is the special feature of bubble sort? And also, we can optimize the bubble sort algorithm for a particular case. And yes, there is a particular condition in which bubble sort algorithm outperforms other sorting techniques like selection sort and insertion sort. If you want answers of your queries, then do watch my video till the end. Bubble sort is a very simple sorting technique with only a few lines of code. The best case complexity of bubble sort is order of n, and the best case is when the list is already sorted. While the worst case complexity and average case complexity is order of n square. This algorithm is memory efficient also, as we do not need any extra data structure for this algo. It is an in-place sorting technique. You can have written notes of this topic from my website www.lectureloops.com. The link is in the description. So let's start and we take an example and 33. Suppose this is our list that we are going to sort. So in this case, the basic algo is like we in the bubble sort we actually compares adjacent elements always. So we will start from the first element and then we will start comparing all the adjacent elements one by one, and at the end of each pass, at the end of first pass we will have the largest element at the end of the list at the last position, and in the second pass we will have the second last element at the second last position, and this process continues until the complete list is sorted. So it goes like that. It is actually same as when a bubble rises and reaches the surface of the liquid. So that's why it is called bubble sort technique. So how it works? So basically the condition is we will pass will start from 0 to n minus 1. So these many passes we need, and then inside we'll have for j equal to 0 to 0 to n minus I minus 1, and in this loop we will compare if xj is greater than xj plus 1. If it is greater, then we will swap these values, otherwise we are not going to swap them. So this is the basic logic of bubble sort. Okay, for swapping we will use a temporary variable and we can swap it. So now we'll start how this is going to. So first of all we will compare (44) and 22. This is our first pass, and yes, we can see that 44 is greater than 22, so we will swap. So it will become 22, 44, and rest of the elements as it is 11, 66, 55, 33. So in the next condition, in the next iteration, inner loop is getting executed. So in the next pass, in the next condition, next iteration, 44 and 77 will be compared. Now when 44 and 77 is compared, no swapping will take place as 44 is not greater than 77. So the list will remain as it is. No swapping will take place. Now we'll compare 77 with 11. In this case, we can see that 77 is greater. So we'll have now we will compare 77 with 66 because now j is here, and it is 22, 44, 11, 66, 77, 55 and 33. Now we have to compare this element 22, 44, 11, 66, 55 and 77 and 33. Again, we'll compare 77 and 33. Now what will happen? 22, 44, 11, 66, 55 and 33 and 77. In this way we can see that when inner loop completes, we have this 77, the largest element at the end of the list. Now in the second pass, the same process continues. Now I will become 1. I is equal to 1 now. When I is equal to 1, what will happen? Again j will start from 0 to n minus I minus 1. What is this? N. Suppose the value of n is 7 here. So 7 minus I minus 1. 7 minus 1 is 6. So when I is equal to 1, then it will become 6 minus 1 equal to 5. That means I will go from 0 to 5. Okay, 7 minus I, which is 1, minus 1 means it is 5. So it will, next time this loop will execute from 0 to 5. Now we'll see how it is going to work. So now for the second pass, we have this list: 22, 44, 11, 66, 55, 33 and 77. Now again we will start from j equal to 0. So we'll compare xj. Again the j is 0. So we'll compare 0 and the first element, that is 22 and 44. We can see that xj is not greater than xj plus 1. So no swapping will take place. Okay. Next, j will become 1. Then we will compare the first element and the second element, that is 44 and 11. Now, since 44 is greater than 11, so swapping will take place. So it will become 22, 11, 44, 66, 55, 33 and 77. Now the value of j will be 2. So now we'll compare 44 and 66. Now no swapping will take place as 44 is not greater than 66. Now j will become 3. So we'll compare the third and the fourth element, that is 66 and 55. Now it is greater, 66 is greater than 55. So we will swap it. 22, 11, 44, 55, 66, 33 and 77. Now the value of j is 4. So we'll compare 4 and 5. So now again 66 is greater, so we will swap it. 44, 55, 33 and 66 and 77. Now we are having 5 and 6. So 5 and 6 we will compare, and since it is not greater, so it is not going to swap. And here the inner loop is completed, and in this way, in the second loop we have this second largest element 66 at the second last position. Okay. So now what we are going to do, we are again running, we are running the next pass. So in the next pass, what will happen? This is I equal to 0, I equal to 1, I equal to 2. Now we are running the third pass when the value of I is 2. Now we'll compare 22 and 11. 22 and 11, yes, swapping will take place. So 11, 22, 44, 55, 33, 66 and 77. Again we'll compare 22 and 44. J is incremented, and now the value of j is 1. So 11, 22, 44, 55, 33, 66 and 77. Now the value of j is 3. So we'll compare 44 and 55. It is not greater, so we'll compare 55 and 33. Now the swapping will take place. It is 11, 22, 44, 33, 55, 66 and 77. In this way swapping will take place, and now we have this element, the third largest element at the third last position. Again what we are going to do, we are running I equal to 3. So now we have 11, 22, 44, 33, 55, 66 and 77. Now we'll again start with this j equal to 0. This time j will go from n minus I minus 1. Now the value of I is 3. So 7 minus 3 minus 1, that is 7 minus 4 and that is 3. So j will go from 0 to 3. So in the first we will compare 11 and 22. The value of j is 0. So 11 and 22 no swapping will take place. Now the value of j is incremented and now j is 1. Now we will compare 22 and 44. No swapping will take place. Now j will be incremented and the value of j is 2. Now 44 and 33, yes, swapping will take place. So we'll write it as 22, 33, 44, 55, 66 and 77. Now the value of j is 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Now we'll compare 44 and 55. No swapping will take place. And here the fourth pass ends. Okay. Now we'll come to next pass, which is I equal to 4. In this condition, what we are going to do? Now we have the list 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66 and 77. Now j will start from 0 to n minus I minus 1. Now the value of I is 4. So it will become 7 minus 5, which is 2. So j will go from 0 to 2 only. Okay. So 11 and 22 will compare. No swapping will take place. Okay. And then we'll increment it. It will become 1. 1 and 2 will compare. No swapping will take place. And then 2 and second and third. 33 no swapping will take place. In this way we can see that the complete list is sorted, and we have already sorted the list with the help of bubble sort technique. I hope you understood this, and with this example, now I am going to tell you how we are, we can optimize this and we can find out basically what is the plus point of bubble sort. It is that the plus point is like with bubble sort, we can easily identify whether a given list is sorted or not. So by making a little change in the logic, we can easily identify whether a given list is sorted or not, and then we can stop it. We can break, at that moment only, and there is no need to run the loop again and again, even if the list is sorted. So if in this condition, in this way, bubble sort, this facility is not available with the insertion sort or the selection sort. So how we can do this? Now I am going to tell you the optimized bubble sort algo. How can you, how you can optimize the bubble sort? There is a slide. We will take a variable like flag here, and we will make initialize it as false. If you are making the program in C, you can write flag is equal to 0. Okay. So if flag is equal to 0, flag is equal to false, then we will write, the condition for I equal to 0, then I less than equal to n minus 1, and then I plus plus. This is the outer loop. And then we will write for j equal to 0, and then we will write j less than equal to n minus I minus 1, and then j plus plus, and then we'll compare if xj is greater than xj plus 1, then we will swap. So while we are swapping, I am not writing the logic of swap, this temp variable and all. So we'll swap, and as soon as the swapping takes place, we will make flag as true. Okay. So we will make this flag true. And after this j loop ends, we can check if flag is equal to false. If flag is false, then break. So I'm going to explain you what will happen if flag is false. Okay, and initially the flag is false, and we entered the I loop, and then we entered this inner loop J loop. And if in this J loop, if swapping takes place, if it takes place even at one time only, then also the flag will become true, and in that case we need not to break the loop. But if the case is like that, the J loop runs from 0 to n minus I minus 1, and in any of the iteration there is no swapping, that means that actually means that the list is already sorted. Then why to run other passes? So in this case we will make flag equal to true. So what will happen, it just indicates that no swapping took place in this J loop from 0 to n minus I minus 1, and this indicates that list is already sorted. So when we'll come out of this J loop, we will check if flag is equal to false, then break. It means that the swapping has not taken place, and then we can the list is sorted, and then no need to go for more passes. So in this way we can easily check whether a list is sorted or not by using just a flag variable. So this is the basic beauty of this bubble sort algorithm. And also bubble sort is actually a stable sort. And what is the meaning of stable sort? It means that if two values are equal, then it is not going to change the relative order of these two values. And one more thing about bubble sort is that it is a non-recursive technique, because we are not using recursion anywhere. So basically you can say that it is a non-recursive technique. So if you like this video, please do like and subscribe my channel, and you can also comment and ask some queries if you have. Thank you very much.